The Shure MV7 microphone versus the Tonor TC20. Is it worth dropping hundreds of dollars on a microphone versus getting a relatively inexpensive microphone? The MV7 is a couple $100 on its own, plus you drop money on the shock mount and the stand. You're looking at a hundreds of dollars investment for the MV7, but if you compare that to the Tonor TC20, it's only 60 bucks. Tonor gave me this mic for free for me to check it out. I was skeptical at first, and then I realized it's an insane value for the money. But don't just take my word for it. In today's video, I'm going to do a comparison of all the features of both of these microphones here in the studio live. This video is not edited at all. I'm also going to talk about the different input options for both of these. A cheaper one like the Focusrite Solo, and then the more expensive super high-end one like my Rodecaster Pro mixer, and of course, the most important part that you need to stick around all the way to the end of the video for, the side-by-side recording test of both microphones with processing on and processing off. Make your own decision on what sounds good to you, because that's what's important when you're shopping for audio equipment. Don't just listen to people's opinions, listen to your own ears, okay? All right, let's go over the features. The Shure MV7 is very different than the Tonor TC20, starting with the fact that it is a dynamic microphone. What does that mean in layman's terms? It means that it only captures what's right in front of it, essentially. It can help eliminate background noise. It's got the pop filter built in to help you get rid of those plosives. And just speaking of which, right now here in my room, I've got a Dyson fan over there. I've got gaming laptop fans going here, and a Roomba running in the other room, and you probably can't hear it. And it's because this is a dynamic mic. It's fantastic at eliminating room noise. Other features of this mic include a built-in mute button on the top of it, and it's got these little touchscreen dials on it that allow you to adjust your volume in your headphones and the mix between hearing yourself and hearing whatever the audio is on your computer, gameplay, podcast, whatever. The big difference between these mics, of course, is that the Shure MV7 is an XLR mic, and it's a USB mic at the same time, whereas the Tonor TC20 is only an XLR mic. So you can plug in the Shure MV7 into any machine. It also comes with free software that makes it sound good on the USB side. It also has a headphone jack, whereas the TC20 does not have a headphone jack. Overall, the Shure MV7 is probably the most versatile microphone on the market, period, with the highest level of quality for any USB microphone I've ever heard. Just overall, this package is super, super valuable, but it's hundreds of dollars, and you really should be getting the accessories for it, including the shock mount. For example, if I knock on my desk right now, tell me if you hear booms. You probably just heard knocks, not booms. If it was booms, boom, 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 the shock mount would have been doing a terrible job. But the shock mount actually does a pretty good job. It's a nice metal shock mount. Links in the description below to all of these products and all of these accessories. If you're interested in purchasing them, they're Amazon Associates links. I also recommend this stand, this Gator stand. It's so clean, it's so solid. It's actually got an XLR cable built in to the shaft of the stand, so you can plug that into your MV7. It's really, really nice for that reason. And you can also run a USB cable along it like I'm doing, with a nice little Velcro there if you want to run that option. Love this stand. It's in the description below. But let's contrast that with this. It's so simple to shop for the Tonor TC20. Let me just switch over to that mic right now so you can hear it. All right, this is the Tonor TC20. By the way, processing has been on this entire time, so I want you guys to know that I'm going to turn the processing off in a bit so you can hear the way they sound kind of natural. But this package for the TC20 has a lot going on, right? It's got the stand, which I've got set up right here. The stand is much cheaper and lower quality than the Gator stand I showed you a moment ago, because it's literally costing a lot less money. It's very stiff and it's kind of short, but it gets the job done, and it's got the tension springs so that you can get it in place and you can kind of get it in the position you need. It's not quite as long as I would like, so if you have a smaller desk or a tighter situation in your studio, this might actually be optimal for you because it's a much shorter stand. Also in the package comes with, of course, the microphone itself, which is a cardioid microphone, a condenser microphone, and a cardioid studio kit. And it comes with a pop filter, the XLR cable, and a windscreen, which you will definitely need the windscreen to prevent those plosives. All in one package, plus a shock mount. Let's test the shock mount right now. Same test as a moment ago. You probably just heard the knocks, but not the boom, 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 boom. So the shock mount actually does a pretty decent job. I gotta say, overall, this kit for the money is an insanely high value for the money, but it is much cheaper feeling overall. The shock mount feels pretty good, but it has a plastic joint on it. It'll probably break in about a year or two. The stand is metal and pretty solid, but there's a few plastic knobs on it. Probably will break in a year or two. The microphone itself, you're listening to it, you can make your own judgment there. I don't recommend using the pop filter. I recommend using the windscreen because I don't like having giant discs in front of my freaking face. Whenever I'm recording, it's just very unattractive. I prefer windscreens. But as you can see, that package is very easy to shop for. Link below to get all of those things. Okay, so the question then is, what do you plug these microphones into? Because they're XLR in this comparison we're going over today. So there's two options you can look at. The cheapest option that is high quality is the Focusrite Solo, which is the kind of industry standard interface. And so what this box allows you to do is plug in through the USB jack into your computer, and then you plug the microphone into the front of this device. Let me just show it to you on Amazon so you can see a big giant picture version of it. You plug in your microphone right here, and then it goes USB into your computer. You can control your volume. It's got phantom power. You even have an input for instruments if you want to plug in a guitar, and you can do a monitor mix, and it's got a headphone jack all on it. And you can choose to monitor yourself or not. It's just a great interface to plug in any XLR microphone and just have it sound good. It's a good preamp. The big disadvantage, I guess you could say, of this device is that it doesn't have onboard processing to make your audio sound fantastic. The more expensive option, which is the option I'm using in my studio right now, which is the Rodecaster Pro mixer. Rode gave that to me for free two years ago. I need to disclose that to you guys, even though it's been 2 years. And the Rodecaster Pro mixer has unbelievably good processing on board that you can hear live. This is not an edited video, and so when I do the processing on and off comparison in a minute, you're probably going to be blown away by how good the live processing is on this mixer and how much of an impact it makes, okay? This mixer is roughly 8 to 9 times more expensive than the Focusrite Solo. So if you're deciding what to plug your microphone into, if you want to have processing where you want to sound amazing in real time, getting something like a Rodecaster Pro will help you do that. And you can plug in multiple mics and do USB and Bluetooth and all this stuff with that too. If you don't care about having that processing, you just want raw audio, then doing a Focusrite Solo is probably your better dollar spent. It's much less expensive, much more affordable for the average person, okay? But if you want to hear the impact between these two things, let me just show it to you right now. So you've been listening to the Tonor TC20 with no processing. I'm going to turn off noise suppression, compressor, and limiter in Streamlabs OBS. And now I am going to turn off in the Rodecaster Pro. I'm going to turn off audio processing now. The Rodecaster Pro's processing is now off. The Rodecaster Pro's processing is now off. And currently you are listening to the Tonor TC20 with processing off. This is the Tonor TC20 just going straight into my preamp on my Rodecaster Pro. This is more or less the raw sound of that microphone. Now we're going to switch over to the MV7 with processing off. All right, this is the Shure MV7 with processing off. You're listening to this microphone, the Shure MV7 with processing off. This is the MV7 dynamic microphone with processing off. Link in the description below. One more time, back to the Tonor TC20. This is the Tonor TC20 with processing off. This microphone right here. This is the Tonor TC20 with processing off. I'm about, by the way, 5 inches maybe from both of these microphones to get the maximum sound out of both of them. One more time, back to the Shure MV7. And this is the Shure MV7 with processing off. One more time, the Shure MV7 with processing off. You need to hear the impact of turning processing on, because here it goes. Here goes the Rode Procaster processing just got turned on just now. Do you hear the difference? Now I'm turning on the Streamlabs OBS processing. Do you hear the massive difference in the audio whenever you turn that processing on? This is the Shure MV7 with processing on. Now let's switch back over to the Tonor TC20. And here is the Tonor TC20 with processing on. Once again, this is the Tonor TC20 with processing on right here in the mixer. The Tonor TC20 with processing on. As you can hear, it's brighter, it's fuller. The processing on the Rodecaster Pro mixer is totally insane. This is all default processing. I haven't customized it at all. Back to the MV7. This is the Shure MV7 with processing on. This microphone right here, the Shure MV7 with processing on through the Rodecaster mixer and through the free processing that is in Streamlabs OBS. One more test going the other way. And we're going to finish out the video with the processing on in the Tonor TC20, this microphone right here. I wanted you guys to hear that audio back and forth over and over again with the processing on and off so you can understand how you can make your best decision on which audio input you want to get, the Focusrite Solo, something cheaper with no processing, or something much higher end with processing. And then you can decide whether you like that condenser mic sound or you like that dynamic mic sound. And you can make a really good decision between, do you want to go higher end with your equipment, with the MV7, or do you want to stay lower end with the TC20 for now, because that is sufficient for your audio needs. All of those links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and happy microphone shopping.